You can try asking me some questions about life, but I don't know if I can really help you with those. So I'm pretending to be techie and set up all my techie stuff, but I think I got it. I think the fake it till you make it actually really works. I did it, guys. I did it. And I've got my little puppy Rosie puttering around here. She might come join us a little bit. She's 6 months old, so she can go in the air, I think. We'll find out how this goes. She's watching me right now. Okay, I had a question about neck pain. So I put on my story yesterday just questions like, what do you have questions about? What can I help you with? And one of them was neck pain. Oh, San Diego, Ontario. Awesome. You guys training there? Neck pain. And my assumption is usually if someone has neck pain, it's because either like they probably jumped on the mats cold and then started wrestling right away, and the neck can very easily get cranked. Or if you're working on getting away from something. Yeah, here's Rosie. She's gonna come say hi to everybody. Or someone just cranked the neck. That could be also what happened there too. So hi, say hi to everyone, Rosie. Say hi to everybody. She's 6 months old. Okay, let's see, I got a question here. From Brazil, BJJ purple belt. And have an injury in my shoulder. Can you tell me some position to help me? So what type of injury is it? Is it like what happened with the shoulder? So usually if it's an injury, something happened. And I'm not a doctor, but I could kind of try to help out with that a little bit. Okay, Rosie, go lay down, baby girl. Sit. Good girl. Texas, you got a lot of back pain, mainly in your lower back. Okay, so I'm gonna go put Rosie down here for a minute and then we'll keep going. So pain in the lower back. Yeah, I'll have some stretches for that. Oh, okay, she was so excited to be on the air. Okay, so let's backtrack. Yeah, I got really good questions. Let's backtrack and start with the neck pain, right? If that's happening, I would have to say the most important thing with the neck pain is to start warming up. Like warm up properly, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy or intense, but if you're jumping on the mats cold, good chance the neck pain goes from the side, but also the worst is through the traps, like down the back, right? The traps are a pretty big muscle and they actually go almost to the center of the back. So if you pull that, that's probably the most common one where you're just like, oh, you can't even like look left or right. So warming up, we have an amazing yoga for BJJ warm up that starts with small movements and transitions you really nice to a really light sweat. So that's really, really nice. And if you don't like that, it's about 20 minutes. If you don't have time for that, or if you're kind of like, haven't gotten an opportunity to do that yet, just light movements and stretches. So moving the neck before you even go on the mat, or you can do this anytime, even if it's sore, left to right. So roll the chin to the chest, roll the ear to the side, and remember that less is more. This isn't meant to be super intense and crazy, like less is more. So just rolling the head side to side, maybe even rolling the head back. Now the next connected body part, believe it or not, this is gonna be crazy, to the neck or the shoulders. So let's stretch. We're gonna add an element of the shoulders too. So taking the right hand, looping it behind the back, grab, if you can, the opposite elbow. And if you can't grab the opposite elbow, just loop a belt around it. From here, pulling the right shoulder blade back and down, or shoulder back and down as much as you can, and bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. So try that. You can try both sides. One side you'll feel a bit more of a stretch. If I bring the right ear to the right shoulder, it's not as much of a stretch. Left ear to the left shoulder. So this is a really nice stretch through the front of the shoulder, which may also help the neck, and turn the head down. So what we are doing in that warm up, or even the stretch with the neck, so warm up before you hit the mats, or the stretch if the neck is sore, is bringing blood flow to help with the injuries, right? To help heal the injuries, because blood heals injuries. It helps with that, so we're increasing the blood flow. So obviously other side here, like this for that neck. Then the one that I'm not super fond of, like a lot of people do it, but I don't like it a crazy amount, is grabbing the head of the opposite hand and then adding a bit of pressure. Like that's kind of a a strengthening one, but it's not my favorite. I just find it a bit much on my neck, so I enjoy the moving. Last one for the neck. Let me see. Okay, I just got some questions. I can't reach my arms like this. And you know, if you can't reach your arms, Lucas, that's okay. Grab a belt and just loop it around, right? Loop it around that opposite arm. So that's okay if you can't reach. That's why we have belts. Belts makes our arms longer. So just loop that belt around the opposite arm. So don't worry, Lucas, I got you covered. Try that and see how you like it. And the next one, I always interrupt myself, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Everything you guys say in here is really important, so I don't want to miss this. So Lucas, you got too much limited after surgery. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then I got to do some stretches for beginners. Yeah, we'll do that too. So Lucas, do you have limited mobility in your shoulder because of surgery? Is that what's going on? Because if that's what's going on, you should probably see your physio, right? See your physio, your doctor, and see what you're allowed to do, depending on what type of surgery, because the shoulder is pretty complex. So I'm doing more stuff geared towards the neck. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, not really. I spent the last 10 years doing that, not really a doctor. So maybe I would recommend going to like physio or doctor and seeing what you can do. And we also have some rehab programs you can check out as well. So a few options there, but after surgery, like just take your time, right? Next one for the shoulders, which is really nice and underneath is, and it kind of feels really nice for the neck too, is on hands and knees, walk the hands forward and then active through the fingers, push the hips back. So this is kind of stretching below, but you can move the head left and right a little bit too. So these are just a few ones that target the shoulders, because I find if everything here is tense through the shoulders and upper body, that will affect the neck too. So basically not really a lot of magic to it, moving the head left and right, up and down. But my best answer to that neck pain is a really good warm up. And if you find that your neck has like just a lot, like sharp pain, obviously we're not doctors, tell you to go like check it out, but check out our rehab programs. Check out those too. yogaforbjj.net. We've got some awesome rehab programs. So check that out. Oh, Heron from YouTube says hi. Hi, Heron. Okay, next one. I have actually two that can kind of be combined together really nicely. Best stretches for beginners. I have on here, who was it that just started? MMA. Yeah, so EJ Floss. What are the best stretches for beginners? Just started grappling in MMA. And this will also tie into a question that someone asked me on the story. Like hip flexors are really tight. You know, their hip flexors just won't quit. So best stretch for beginners and the hip flexors. Here we go. You have a couple different variations, which are really, really nice. Starting on all fours on the hands and knees, and step whatever your favorite foot. I'm going to go with the left foot to the outside of the left hand. So this obviously stretches the inside of the leg, but the beauty comes from that back leg. With the back leg, tuck the toes, lift the knee. This is a stretch through the back hip flexor and the back quad. You can lower the knee to the ground and then lift it up. You can do both of those. And that begins to slowly release that back hip flexor. And this is, if you're a beginner, super simple. You got to stretch the hip flexor, especially MMA, because the legs are always bent in guard, mount, side control, all like bent a lot of the time, so you need to balance that. Now, if the legs are always bent, the back of the legs are probably always bent too. So for my beginner stretches, this is called lizard. I'll let you imagine why. Lowering and lifting that back knee. Now, lower the back knee to the ground and simply walk the hands forward. Walk the hands back and you'll get a stretch through the hamstring. So you can move through both of these, which are really nice stretches for beginners. And chances are, for my friend that asked about the hip flexors, like if the hip flexors are tight, probably something's going on with the hamstrings in the back too. So you want to be able to stretch out those hamstrings. Hip flexor, you've got your lizard stretch, you've got your hamstring stretch. And then honestly, let me see if I got new comments for us here. I always like scroll up to check. Yeah, keep sending your questions in, everyone. I'm getting to them. My next one is back pain. Someone asked about back pain, and then I'll hit that up too. Another really nice stretch for beginners is like we've got the hips, we've got the hamstrings. Now let's look at the back, because the back is rounded forward all the time. It's actually really disgusting how unbalanced it is. I know, especially in my life, it's just like rounded forward. The spine is not meant to be in one position or two positions. It's meant to move. It's meant to twist. It's meant to extend. It's meant to rotate. So we need to make sure we're doing that. Another great stretch for the back, especially if you're training MMA a lot, is called Sphinx. So I'll let you again imagine why, really creative names. Elbows under the shoulders, hands on the ground, and use the fingers to kind of pull your torso up and forward. This will be really nice for the back, and you can, if this is too much, just walk the elbows forward a tiny bit. That's okay too. So elbows under the shoulders, Sphinx pose. This does target a bit of the lower back for me. Then moving through the thoracic spine between the shoulder blades, hands beside the shoulders, pull the elbows together and down, which in turn pulls the shoulder blades together and down, and pull the torso up and forward. So that's really nice for the middle back. Now that we've done those back bends, let's do the opposite, which is turtle. So turtle, knees are wide, hips are to the heels, and you can just rest your head on your hands. So that's also really nice. And then turtle's good, especially if you have, when my friend has back pain, try turtle. And I also, for my beginners, I released a video, which is the I Don't Want to Do Yoga flow. So you can search that on yogaforbjj.net or the app, I Don't Want to Do Yoga, and it goes through a lot of really amazing stretches. Also for beginners, what I recommend even more is in the description of the video, we have the 10 for 10. So 10 videos for 10 minutes for 10 days for free. So Sebastian is giving that away for free. It's what got me into yoga for jiu-jitsu, and then I went to the dark side and obviously never went back. Because yoga is just so darn good for you. The more I do it, the more addicted I get. It's really maintenance. You're wrestling hard, training hard, doing life. Yoga is like necessary for maintenance to balance everything we do here, so we're not old, like walking around all hunched over and living half our lives. You know, you need yoga to balance everything. Okay, so beginner stretches, 10 minutes of yoga every day for 10 days. If you can't find that link, message us. We'll send her over to you. And then the next one also ties into my friend that's back pain. Okay, so back pain, try the Sphinx pose on the belly I just talked about. Try the turtle. Yeah, you know what, EJ? Let me know how it goes, right? Shoot a message or jump on my live next week. I'll post my live and let me know how it goes. I've had people come to my live like the week after and then be like, you know what, this was really amazing. I want some more stretches, or they had questions about the stretches that I gave. So let me know how it goes. Back pain, here we go. One of my favorite stretches for back pain, obviously, is the Sphinx here. If that, you know what? Is try the Sphinx if there's sharp pain. Obviously, we always say go to the doctor, right? Because I'm not a doctor. But you can get that checked out. But what will feel really nice is turtle. On a side note, I made a video called Back Pain for BJJ. Search that on yogaforbjj.net, and it's an amazing video. A lot of people are using it, a lot of people are watching it, and I use it because I get a lot of back pain, like everybody, right? I'm like, so make sure to take advantage of that. Next one for back pain, which is really nice, is chances are if your back is sore, it's probably, or painful, it's probably a lot of the surrounding hip or surrounding areas. And one that you wouldn't think of is the side body and outside the hips. So watch this video, but go back to the lizard pose and hamstring pose. And side body. Take a seat cross-legged. Reach your favorite arm up and over the other side. So this targets the QL, and that is part of the lower back. I won't bore you with the full name because nobody cares. And if that's tight, especially from a lot of sitting or a lot of stress, that will cause lower back pain. So simple as this. Reach your arm up and over to the side. Obviously do both sides. This is something you can do like absolutely anywhere, and you can repeat it 2 or 3 times. Let's get that QL loosened up, which is a factor in back pain when we've had enough of this onto your back. And 2 variations, okay? 2 variations. Knees above the hips, lower them to your favorite side. Reach the opposite arm up and behind you. So this is really nice spinal twist, and it might be enough for you. This will also help with back pain because it puts the spine in a nice spinal twist. It should feel really good. Variation 1, just knees up, over, obviously do both sides. Next one is my favorite of all time, of really the last few months. Take your ankle, put it on the opposite quad, and lower the foot to the ground. Okay, so, and if it's sliding everywhere, just go ahead and grab the shin. Left hand, which is my free hand, lower behind you. So this is a spinal twist, also adding a stretch through the outer hips. And again, if the outer hips are tight, it can also be a factor in that back pain. There's a lot of things that can, so we're kind of it can be the front of the hips, back of the hips, inside of the hips, outside of the hips, and the side body. So we're kind of targeting everything, but try your side stretch and try this twist. Side stretch and this twist. And let me know how that goes. The outer hips tend to get incredibly tight. This is a stretch that everybody should do because they're big stabilizers of the legs, so the legs aren't like falling out to the sides. So we're walking like baby giraffes. So that's a pretty big factor. Okay. So yeah, Rosie, for sure. I know that is a good one, isn't it? Absolute NT. What a great name. So any more questions before I jump off here? If you guys have any more questions, let me know. And currently we're putting together something pretty cool for Christmas. Yeah, we're already prepping your Christmas. Sebastian, Adam, and I are putting together 10 minutes a day of our Christmas countdown series. So all new videos. So you get 10 minutes a day of Christmas, and we'll be hitting up all the main areas like spine, shoulders, hamstrings, hip flexors, but also adding in strength and cardio because of Christmas treats, so y'all don't get unbelievably fat during Christmas, and just to keep up the maintenance. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be looking good. And another thing we have going on is our 2 amazing trainings coming up. The first one is the Yoga for BJJ Level 1 instructing course. So that's coming up in October, and it's online. Hey, Paul. You know what, Paul? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? Are you doing good? There's always people ask me in the email in, how are you doing in this crazy world? I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. How are you? It's really cool. Our community, how like we'll talk about stuff like that. There we go. And we're back. How we'll talk about stuff like that, like yoga for jitsu stuff, but still things here. So, Jayza, any advice on recovering from arm bars? So I'll go back to my little talk with teacher train, which I'm excited about in a second. Advice recovering from arm bars, jump into our yogaforbjj.net rehab section. We've got a section for arm bars. So go in there and do that. We've got, we can give you, like, there's a 14-day free trial too. That'll be your best bet, because the arm bars, oh, I hear you. It's absolutely the worst. It's so irritating. So go in there. That'll really help you out. And then jump on here and let me know how it goes. Then for our Yoga for BJJ Level 1 in October, you can do it from home, which is amazing. You can save on accommodations, on flights, and man, this online training is just absolutely amazing. And you learn how to run. Well, the stuff like the proper warm-ups, like we talked about, is really important for the neck. The full class is proper cool downs. And this it's just incredible for jiu-jitsu, like a staple to jiu-jitsu. Like I wouldn't do jiu-jitsu now without this. And Sebastian actually started the Yoga for BJJ teacher training because some things are too good to keep to yourself, right? So he had herniated discs in his back, couldn't even put his socks on. He's a double black belt, jiu-jitsu and judo, and the yoga really helped him. And through popular demand, people kept asking, when are you making a teacher training? We want to share this with people. We want to share this with their students. We want to share this with our training partners. So he made it. And I'm really glad he did. Like for me, myself, I was in a car accident, and that obviously through my jiu-jitsu career for loop for a few years, a few surgeries, yoga's what helped it. Like I was didn't have like everything tensed up, right? So, you know, it really, really helped people a ton. So that's to teach yoga to specifically jiu-jitsu people. The next one, oh, you did splits, now your legs are pain. Yeah, you probably went too far in those splits. That'll happen sometimes. And the next training we have is a 2 official Yoga Alliance certified 200-hour teacher training. So that's in February in Mexico, and it is going to be absolute paradise. The way that this program has been structured and put together is honestly like life-changing. I love it because I've done my 200-hour, I've done my 300-hour, I've done all this, and it was really hard on me to do it and just learn all these basics and foundations, but not really how to teach, not how to teach well, not how to teach with passion, not how to deepen my own practice. And the way Sebastian and Stina are putting together the 200-hour, I'm helping them do that in Mexico in February, is absolutely incredible. It's all about the experience, all about teaching well, about being a good instructor. So you can message in. There's limited spots for that. It's about half full. But if you want to join in, definitely do it. Be amazing. Okay, everybody, it's been really fun hanging out with you. And I don't know if you can hear Rosie. She's playing in the yard, but she wants to join the party. She's a movie star now. She's barking. And yeah, I'm really glad to help you with your questions and answering your questions. And if you have any more, make sure to join me next week, right? We'll go over the questions, we'll hang out, we'll have a coffee, super informal, super fun. It's just really great for me to connect with everyone, you know, from your side and hear your questions and everything you want to know about and all that. And then I get a chance to blabber a little bit, which is really boring for me. I hope it's not as boring for you. Okay, you know what, Jason? How's it going, Jason? Just at the end here, but I hope you're doing good. And Robert says thank you, and it is my pleasure. Okay, everybody, until next time, we'll see you next week.